like that you brought up the vision of the voice as sort of giving insight into the Book of the Law. I had not too long ago, maybe a year and a half ago, gotten the several volumes of the Vision of the Voice that somebody put out, where it's the scans of the original manuscript from the notebooks and that sort of thing, and it's on red ink and black, which I thought was kind of interesting. So it occurred to me that it's good to think of the Vision of the Voice as the commentary on the Book of the Law. I don't know if that's a pestilential thing to say or whatnot, but I've kind of found it really does function that way. You know, it's an excellent commentary on the book.
Yeah, it fills in the details. That's often a problem with the Gospels. I mean, you know, Jesus arrives and there's this little incident where he goes to the temple and stays in the temple when he's 12, and then he got 20 years of nothing. So people have speculated he went to India. Like, why would an Orthodox Jew be going to India? Come on, he probably didn't even know India existed.
Or for that matter, where did those feet in ancient times walk upon England's?
Mountains green, and was the Holy Land? Yes. He got all over the place. I mean, obviously he had an agent who just booked him in all over the joint, and he gave these, tours, performances at every place imaginable. Yeah, you need someone to fill in the detail. I remember one particularly drunken evening was a friend of mine who was much more Christian than I was, and we decided that the Beatitudes were in fact the punchlines of Jesus's jokes. And we spent about 2 inebriated hours trying to figure out what the jokes had been. The meek shall inherit the earth. There was already that one out there, the rich are moving on to Mars. That was the T-shirt you could get 25 years ago. And stuff like that. But you wonder what was really happening here, because there's all these implications that Jesus goes and tells secret stuff, not implications, they're clear statements. He confides the real goods to his disciples. Mm-hmm. That stuff is not written down. We don't know whether the Apocrypha fairly represent it or whether they were just made up by people who, wanted to get a few followers on Facebook or its equivalent at the time. There's so much that is lost of what was said. Yet you have a lot of people who came along who were Christian mystics who were risking getting burned at the stake by expanding this, the Meister Eckharts, people like that, the Rhenish mystics, and others who kept themselves safe because they were working out of a cloister. So the church could always say, well, you have to stay in your cloister and shut up, but you didn't actually get tried and persecuted. Whereas if you tried declaring stuff like Giordano Bruno, yes, you became the barbecue of the day one nasty cold day in January in 1600, and that was it. You met a nasty end. You couldn't say too much publicly. These days we say a lot more. I wonder whether the problem today is not that people are outraged by it, but they're used to crazy stuff and it goes by them. I think the mystery, I think the truth of the mystery schools preserves itself because, as we're told so many times, you really cannot communicate the truth that you discover. You can only, as Crowley says, you express it through the Ruach, which is a very inadequate means of communicating stuff such as what you get in these upper ethers, which hardly anyone has ever scried. I think it was said that you couldn't get beyond the 8th ether unless you were a master of the temple in the AA, which means that a lot of adepts of AA haven't got anywhere near that. I know I got through half a dozen of them and then started finding that it was just impossible to stay with it. The stuff was so far beyond what I could intellectualize. This is the real mystery, the secret, the inner truth, I think, of the 3rd chapter of the Book of the Law. Figuring it out is next to impossible. You can take bits and pieces. There's the the salutation we use in Reish, unity uttermost shown, I adore the might of thy breath. You can use that. You can take certain phrases and make them the foundation of your particular personal work for a time. But the whole thing, Crowley himself said somewhere in the early 40s that after 7 years, he more or less understood the first chapter of the book. 7 years later, he felt he mostly understood the second chapter. He'd overcome his resistance to it. He said, I'm still trying to figure out the third chapter. And this is, nearly 4 decades after he'd received it. He understood a lot. I think he kept a lot to himself that he may have shared with some of his more senior students, but he didn't publish it. And we all have to try and relate to this chapter as a whole. You can't really take bits of it. The whole thing sets up something, and if you can look between the lines somehow in the most exalted of mental states, then perhaps you can get some of what Crowley got from the scrying the first ether of the Enochian system.
Darkly Splendid Abodes, released at midnight on the first and third Fridays each month, and available on Spotify and various other streaming services.